Path Media. I was a minimum wage movie theater usher that made good and became a top earner in my network marketing company. Now, after 16 plus years in the profession, I'm finally teaching myself how to leverage the internet with online marketing and social media marketing to continue to grow and expand my business. My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about AI. That's right, AI. We're revisiting this topic again. Well, I think it's a topic that we're going to be revisiting a lot in the next 12 months to 5 years, because, well, for a few reasons. Number one, the technology itself is evolving at a very rapid pace, like all technology. But this specifically, the utility and just the functionality of this stuff is just absolutely mind-boggling, and the envelope is continually being pushed. So that's one reason, like the speed of the evolution of the technology. But the second reason is because of the adoption, right? The sheer usefulness and utility of this stuff makes it so appealing to adopt, especially for business people, especially for marketers and entrepreneurs. So, people are rushing to use this technology. Well, I mean, for the simple purpose of it improving processes, right? It's really improving and speeding up a lot of processes that historically have been pretty clunky, especially with marketing, right? Especially with marketing. So yeah, it's gonna be more and more of a prevalent conversation, and it's gonna be, I think, very much it's going to be so common practice, I think, within the next 12 months for sure. Now, the specific question that I wanted to address today is, will content creation be 100% AI generated within the next 5 years? Now, this is in response to an episode of the Biz Bros Content is Profit podcast number 388. It's a very recent episode, and it's a new segment that the brothers are calling "What's Your Take?" I love this. I love this new segment that they're doing. I love these guys. Luis and Luis are amazing. What's your take? They did this episode in response to a tweet that they read, stating that all content will be AI generated within the next 5 years. So I wanted to answer that because, it just seems so binary, and the tweet itself misses a lot of nuance. And see, that's the thing with tweets, right? And especially short form, nuance is out the window because you can't get nuance with 128 characters or whatever tweets are. I can't even remember. And I understand also that, posting an opinion like that, it generates, very, very kind of definitive opinion, right? That kind of prediction, it generates clicks, right? It generates a conversation and generates views. So I also understand that that's purposeful. So, to weigh in on this, will all content be AI generated within the next 5 years? No, absolutely not. And that's I think, that's I think a silly notion. And again, it was designed, my opinion, it's designed to just generate clicks and views to that specific tweet. Why do I think that won't be the case? Number one, and I talked about this at the influencer masterclass that I just recently taught. The platforms, online platforms, special social media platforms, it ranges the gamut, right? It's a spectrum of content and uses. That spectrum can range from social to entertainment to informational, of course, then to marketing and business, right? So it's not just one thing. And I know as marketers, we have a tendency to just look at everything as marketing, and that's all there is. We live in that bubble, right? We live in that bubble. But I think, there still will be a sector of the population that use those platforms for social connection. People sharing what they're up to, people sharing, the child's graduation and being proud of that. It's still, the social platforms is that extension of human connection, right? It's the platform and a vehicle to self-express, right? Self-express, and that would be the other thing, right? for creatives and people churning out personal expression type things, who aren't necessarily driven by monetization and business outcomes. That the platforms can still be used for that. So as a creative, why would you want to have completely all AI generated content? It makes no sense. It defeats its own purpose, right? So I don't think that all content will be AI generated within the next 5 years. I think that's a silly thing to say. Now, from a marketing standpoint, will all marketers rely on AI to generate their content? I don't know. Yeah, I would say that a big sector of that demographic will, because marketers are always looking to improve the process, right? I mentioned that at the top of the episode. There are a lot of things that, because of the human factor, are a little bit slow. There's a lot of what's the phrase I'm looking for? Bottlenecks in the marketing process because of the human factor. And so if we can cut that in and make it more efficient with AI, then why not, right? From a business standpoint, the efficiency is amazing. What AI can do with your marketing and with your content. I mean, marketers just have that tendency, right? They have that tendency well, also too, I think we rush to the next shiny object. Try to be, the mindset is early adopters. If you're not, and it's a very binary conversation. If you've noticed it, if you're not doing this, if you're in online marketing, you're not doing this, you're wasting your time, right? Like, okay, whatever. That's your process. And if that's your process, that's great. I don't think everybody that's in marketing or every business person that's online will necessarily adopt AI, because it is uniquely your choice and your voice. So whatever process works for you. I think a lot of the sector of marketers who focus solely on the bottom line and solely on the outcomes and the clicks and driving revenue will rely heavily on AI for sure. But there are other entrepreneurs and business people that are less concerned with that. Like, I've said this multiple times on this show, is that my philosophy for business, one of my principles that I like to follow, is people over profits, right? That connection, that humanness. And it's not to say that I won't use AI in the future, again, to improve my process and make it more efficient. However, I'm not going to rely on AI to churn out this content with my face and my voice. I think that would be silly and also disingenuous of me, right? If I'm developing and creating content or putting out content of my face and my voice, delivering a message that's completely 100% AI generated, then I just wouldn't feel right about doing that. And that's just a personal sensibility, right? So the last question, well, I have a couple more things that I want to address. Long episode, longer than normal. One of the other things is then, when you really think about this from an outsourcing standpoint, it kind of touches on my previous episode where I talked about outsourcing. Is that, all right, well, yeah, I get shortcuts, right? I understand the need for shortcuts and efficiency, but if you're taking a shortcut before you actually learn the thing, you're robbing yourself of, you're robbing yourself of growth and expansion and a knowledge base and skill base, right? So you're actually lessening your capability by using the shortcut before you know the actual process. So you're handicapping yourself, I think, in my opinion, more than you are getting an advantage. The other aspect of this is that, so with mass adoption of a particular technology, like I said, marketers love to rush towards the next hot thing. Right now, it's awesome and it's working. One of the, not hesitations, but one of the things that I could potentially, that I see potentially happening is the law of diminishing returns. Right now, it's working great. It's hot. And, marketers are using it, and the ones that are using it are have a huge advantage over the ones that are not. However, once everybody has adopted these technologies and these processes, will they be actually, will the returns be as good as they are right now, right? I don't know. I can't say. I guess we'll just have to wait for that to happen. I kind of feel like it can lead to that, right? I mean, that's how everything is in marketing. It's effective until it becomes ineffective, right? Because of mass adoption. So yeah, I mean, that's really where it is. Again, the main thing for me with AI, it's, yeah, and I've said this plenty times. In the past conversations about AI, which I've had this conversation for over a year now. It's make sure that you don't let AI turn you into a lazy thinker. And even before AI technologies were around, at least in how they're being used today and this mass adoption, the internet itself was already turning people into lazy thinkers. So as a marketer, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, really be mindful of that. And that's why I say, it can become a crutch if you're not careful, right? If you're using it as a shortcut before you've actually learned the skills and developed and expanded your own personal capabilities, then yeah, you're handicapping yourself more than giving yourself an advantage, in my opinion. So that's my take. Like whatever, I don't know. It's ever evolving, and I know that there will be some point where I use it for my own business and my own process. Will I rely on it to create content? No. Especially not at the front end of that content. Maybe towards the back end, in writing copy for the descriptions and things like that. But the front end, the content itself, I'm never going to use AI to generate my content, and that's just a personal preference, right? That's a personal preference because, like I said, the last thing I want to do is be disingenuous with the content that I put out there. So that's my hot take. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you're watching this video, you can let me know what you think in the comment section below. For those of you who are listening on the podcast, come join us in the Facebook community, Path of the Network Marketer, facebook.com/group/Path of the Network Marketer. Link is in the show notes, and we can have a further conversation. So that's it for today. More from me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.